Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited because, okay, are y'all ready for this? I am hanging out with award winning author Nancy Naigle. And of course, y'all, behind the scenes, I had to get my fangirl on, all that good stuff as well. Nancy, welcome back to the cafe as well. And of course, guys, you already know what to do. A tag a friend, share, tell everybody to come on down to the cafe and hang out with us, myself, Nancy Nagel, and her new release, guys, The Law of Attraction.
Woo!
Nancy, my friend, oh my goodness, look at it in paperback. Look, Nancy, I think I did good. I was trying to match the cover with those
You
bright
did.
summery colors.
You did. I love it. I love it. I know
I
this.
love that. I love that. Nancy, please introduce yourself to our people today.
Hey, everybody. I'm Nancy Nagel, and I am back again. I am so excited to be back with Angela. I am so happy to be here. I am living, I used to live in North Carolina when Angela and I first met. Now I'm living down in Tidewater, Virginia. And
Okay.
so, yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, Nancy, thank you so much again for coming and hanging out with us and talking about your new release, The Law of Attraction, who is with Harper Road Press. Nancy, I'm super duper excited about this book. I was sharing with you behind the scene. I mean, guys, let me just tell you, Nancy, we gonna talk about it, but y'all, let me tell you, she gives you the swoon. Y'all know I love a swoon-worthy book. You get the swoon, you get all the feels, the meet cute. I'm talking, this book is definitely a summer read of summer reads. But Nancy, before we get all into it, my friend, we got to talk about this cover. Tell us about this cover. And Nancy, the attention is in the details, my friend.
Yes, it is. I love these Harpeth Road covers. They are all so beautiful, but I specifically love mine. But yeah, so it's got all these beautiful feminine, turquoise and pinks, and oh, it's just so pretty. But in the details, there's a phone with some little texting going back and
Yes.
there is a whole theme about social media and viral
Yes.
videos blowing up, and up in the corner there's a picture frame with a couple kissing in the rain, and that's just kind of a little tease to how our hero and heroine meet, and I just love this. I love the characters. I love this was a little bit of a departure for me because I always write small town stories, always have. And this one is legit set in Richmond, Virginia. It's the
Oh,
capital of
wow.
Virginia. It's a city. However, what I was trying to bring together, and I hope I did, we'll have to hear from the readers, but I wanted to kind of show that you can still get that small town vibe just about anywhere. And within the sub communities in a city, that happens too. And so these two, both live in this big city, and they should have crossed paths somewhere along the time, but never did until now. And so yeah, I had a ball writing this story. Really fun.
I love that. And I'm glad that you had a ball enjoying writing this story because, of course, Nancy, as I shared earlier, it's all the feels. So I had a ball reading this story. I mean, the dates that they kind of went on,
Yeah.
all of that good stuff. Oh my goodness, the art gallery, the art shows. Okay, Nancy, in addition to me being a bookish girl, I can appreciate some good art. Oh my goodness. And the murals, y'all, I could just talk all day about just the different things that Nancy bring out in this book.
And it was a lot of fun for me to kind of explore this whole, this man is a renowned artist. He's got art in galleries across the nation, but his love is in those murals that are on the side.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Passion. And I love kind of the juxtaposition of kind of the, hoity toity, let's go to the gallery and sip champagne, with the paint buckets and rollers and, slapping it on the side of a building. But,
Yes.
even more so when I was doing research about the murals, I reached out to some muralists and got some information from them because always want y'all to feel, like things are authentic and get just kind of a feel of what they're going through in their day. So I kind of have to do that along the way.
Okay.
one of the artists that I talked to, they go by Oni Tony, OnieTonie, and they do a bunch of murals in Virginia Beach, but they also do a lot with the community. And the more I
Wow.
read about him, and I was so impressed with all the community outreach and things that they did, that kind of started falling into my character of
Yes, it does.
and then all of a sudden, he's helping young artists, and so that just made him even more lovable in my
Right,
eyes.
like
So
pulling your heartstrings. It was like, you gotta love them. You got, and of course, you wanted to root for them as well. Guys,
yes,
you probably like, what is Angela and Nancy talking about if you have not read The Law of Attraction? Let me just tell you. Y'all see, we in our own conversation, so we know we need to
all right,
include you guys as
we'll come
well.
back. Sorry.
Yes, guys,
So,
if you're just joining us, as you can see, we're having an amazing time with author Nancy Naigle. And guys, she has a new one. It is hot off the press. It is a summer read of summer reads, and it is called The Law of Attractions. Hold tight. We will definitely be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of The Law of Attractions, what formats that is in. We're going to give you all that information as well. Now, Nancy, we talked about the cover. We got to talk about this title. So if you can spill a little bit of tea about this title, The Law of Attractions. And guys, once you read it, you will definitely understand the title will definitely make sense. But Nancy, was this the original working title, my friend, or the title came later? Spill the tea.
no, it is the working title. Let me
Ooh,
tell you what inspired the story.
okay.
Then it will start to make more sense. So I went out on a date,
Oh,
lovely date,
ooh,
lunch at this beautiful restaurant
okay.
with a man. And as we're talking, he starts talking about his divorce,
Uh-huh.
and he's talking about it, and I'm talking about my divorce, and we're both live in this small town in the mountains. It's pretty
Okay.
close to each other, so it's not like a whole lot of attorneys up that way. And he said, well, who'd you use for your divorce? And I told him, and I loved my divorce attorney. I consider her a friend.
Right.
Her name was Whitney. So, and Whitney is the heroine in
Yes.
this. So that was just a nod to her. But he says, oh my gosh, my wife used them, but she used her sister in law. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
because we never would have met or had this date without them. And
Right.
when I was driving home that night, I was thinking, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be hysterical if somebody like posted, oh my gosh, we met through our attorneys, and then someone else said, oh, we did too, and it went viral and went crazy, and then how much hoopla that would cause for these girls, that are fairly new attorneys,
Yeah.
practicing in this big highbrow law firm that's been there for generations. They got the big old pictures of the old men down the hall and all
Right.
the
Right.
cards. And so their daddy is not going to be, they even have like a no social media policy
Right.
in
Right.
the firm. So they know when this stuff blows up, they are in trouble. So yeah, it was actually inspired from a date where that kind of came up
Wow.
in conversation.
Nancy,
So
you
I may
you
never
had
do
to write
another
this
date,
story.
right?
Look, and I'm with Waletta. She's like, it sounds intriguing. I mean, just for you telling what inspired the book, I'm all in. I'm like, give me all the tea. And then when you're finished, Nancy, I'm like, oh yeah, she had to write. I mean, it's the author in her. She had to write this story. What do y'all think?
Yeah. So, my attorney, was first time I saw her, she was petite and blonde and beautiful. And I thought, remember Legally Blonde,
Yeah,
and how people didn't take her serious. I mean, she was so gorgeous. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope she's good. And she was. She's an amazing attorney. And I just loved being able to kind of use her as my profile for this character, because
wow.
it's just, I mean, I was a businesswoman. A lot of people know I was a senior vice president with Bank of America for years. And so, it's nice when you meet young women that are just really excelling in their field. And so I loved kind of using her as a pattern. And then Karina, the sister in law,
Yes.
in my mind, I have this girlfriend, Marie, who is Puerto Rican, and oh,
Yeah.
she's one of my favorite friends. But she's hot and saucy, man. She will tell you like it is, and she's like take no prisoners, and she can handle a situation. She's not like
Right. Right.
That's okay, you know. If somebody tried to steal our purse and we were together, she'd be like, "Oh heck no," and she'd have to take them down or something. So, yeah. So Karina, like I hear Marie in my head as I'm writing that, and I don't usually model characters after people I know, but in this book, I did have a couple people that just kind of inspired some of the really loving characteristics of the characters, and that made it fun because I'm so close, with them, that it was
Yeah.
fun to bring it to life to the page. And I hope people fall in love with them too, because they're the kind of gals that you want as your
You
girlfriend.
wanna hang out with, yes, you wanna know them.
Yes.
Nancy, thank you so much for sharing the inspiration behind it, and it sounds like you had a lot of fun writing it, and I just wanna tell you, I had a lot of fun, reading this book. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're hanging out with Nancy Naigle on today, guys, and it's her new one, The Law of Attraction, and let me just tell you, you want to get in on this one. You probably wanna buddy read, with someone, tell a friend to tell a friend, with this amazing story that is, again, all the feels. And Nancy does not leave out the swoon, guys. She does not leave out the swoon. Y'all know I'm a swoon girly. And I did share with Nancy, I said, Nancy, you already know we're going to talk about that meet cute. But before we talk about the meet cute, Nancy, I want to ask you this. And you kind of given us a little backstory on this book. But what came first? Was it the characters or the plot after that date you had?
Yeah, it was, I guess it was more the plot, because
Okay.
I was really almost obsessed with that whole social media
Yeah.
viral video thing. And, social media is crazy, and it's gotten so important to like our daily lives and work and communication that you can't really just shut it down and avoid it. But it's also like, how much of it do you believe, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so yeah, so that really interested me, and so it was definitely that part of the story first, and then as I was like, okay, and then I thought it would just be so funny to have sisters-in-law for the law of attraction. So
Yes.
I brought in the sisters, and did that, and plus, who doesn't love a good sisters or sister-in-law story? Where
Yes.
you not only family but true friendship, in the relationship. So yeah, definitely, the social media thing drove it, and everything
I
else
love that.
rallied around it.
Now, Nancy, we have to share with them. We're gonna talk a little bit about the characters a little bit, and I'm just gonna I'll mention one of them, and you can kind of describe them. You can give as many words that you want to give, and of course we'll go back a little bit. You did talk about Whitney a little bit, guys. She is the hero, and we talked about her best friend, which is also her sister-in-law, Karina. But we gotta talk about Matthew. Oh my goodness, this famous artiste. Okay, guys, please tell us. And he just happened to be good looking.
I don't know how
Nancy,
that
tell us
happened.
about Matthew.
Oh,
Swoon.
he is just such a great character. I hope I meet somebody just like him. Um, he's a good guy, but he's got some baggage. He's
Mhm.
had, a tough coming up, and but really close with his daddy, and his daddy has passed. But he's still very present in Matthew's life and in his work, which I think also makes him a bit irresistible. That he's
Mhm.
not afraid to talk about that. Um, but he also, isn't out there looking for anybody. So the meet cute for me was just, I didn't really know how it was going to happen. It just
Uh-huh.
started coming together, and the more it came together, it almost came around a little bit comedic. So I was like, this it almost feels a little rom-comish to me, because of kind of how colorful and fast and unexpected it all is. But it just really worked for me. And I hope it worked for you too, because it was fun and fast, and there was just kind of that nothing at the end of it. You're just, literally bumping into each other, and then just going your separate ways.
Yes.
There was definitely kind of a chink spark, but then neither one of them is addressing it, and
Right.
just running away. And then, later for her to end up meeting him and not even recognizing him because
Yes.
the circumstances of the meet cute. Now y'all are going, what the heck?
Yes, but guys, let me
And
tell you, Nancy brings it back around. You're like, oh my goodness, they're gonna meet. And Nancy, if I could just paint the picture for the people, guys. Okay, so he is finishing up a mural for the day. Or well, he was working on a mural. Okay, and of course it starts raining, all this good stuff. So he's like cleaning up his stuff, and she's an attorney, so she's busy. Y'all know more than likely she got to go get some lunch or go get some dinner, and she's probably going back to the office, right? And so, of course, there is rain. There's a flying umbrella. They bump into each other, but they're rushing because they both have destinations that they got to get to. And then, like she said, it's like nothing. But then what happens next, like, in some series of events, you're like, ooh, somehow they got to get back. They got to get back together. So, Nancy, I fell in love with the meet cute. I fell in love when they first met each other. And like you said, she didn't really recognize like who he was.
Mhm.
And then he also kind of overheard what they were talking about. So it was just, I just loved it.
Yeah.
Guys, you gotta read it.
And I loved the meddling mother,
Yes.
and she's one of
Tell
those,
us about her character, Nancy.
yeah. So so she's married to this highbrow attorney, and she actually had been a practicing lawyer younger in her career, but then she retired to raise her kids, and so her husband pretty much lets her do whatever she wants to do just to keep her busy. So she is forever like redecorating the offices over
Yes.
and over and over, and the rest of them are like, oh my gosh, here she comes again. And Whitney does not want her redecorating her office. She likes
Right.
it is. And so, yeah, so the mom ends up meeting Matthew. She's buying like tons of his artwork,
Yes.
and not probably completely because of the art, because she's a little flirty with him at the gallery with her husband, just kind of naked all over him. But boy, does she drag him right to the office. And
Yes.
and Whitney and Matthew don't recognize each other at that moment, because during that rainstorm and there was paint involved. I mean, they were just a mess.
Yes.
And so, in fact, she teases and tells Karina, because Karina's like, "Well, was he good looking? He was. I think he was homeless. I mean, he had paint all
Right.
over him because the paint had fallen,
And
and
y'all, he's filthy rich. But again, the way he was looking at that, she was like, yeah, I think he was homeless.
right, right, yeah. So that I thought that was funny, because the mother has been trying to set her up with tons of people. It never works, and ultimately this time she kind of had it on the nose, but we never really give her credit for it.
Right, right.
Technically, they had met. Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
Nancy, I'm sure you had a lot of fun with this too, as well. I loved how you pulled back the layers of both Whitney and Matthew, because they both had some deep things that that you kind of unfolds throughout the story and
Yeah.
throughout them getting to know each other. And I love how you showed their vulnerability with each other, especially Matthew. Oh my goodness, when he began to share with her. And I don't want to give too much away, but y'all, it is something with these murals that he does. And I love how, again, that's his way of giving back to the community. Oh, and Nancy, family. Oh my goodness, family was such a big thing in this book. Tell us a little bit about that, and why was that for Law of Attraction?
Yeah, for him, he's kind of honoring family that's gone. For her, it's this law practice. They've got a large family. Everybody's kind of working there. She and her brother are super close. There's some funny stuff about dad that they're fighting and wrestling with, that does come to
Look,
terms later.
his
And that,
billboards.
yeah. But here's the thing is, you know, it's hard to juggle life and work. It is. And so even in the story Karina and Whitney are practicing divorce law. And so they see it day in and day out. Whitney is not
Mhm.
jaded about it, but she's not married either.
Right.
Is trying very hard to keep everything very separate. Like in her office, there's not a picture of her daughter, there's not a picture of her husband. She's very, rigid about that and very intentional. And at one point, Whitney's like, "You need to go to dinner with your husband."
Right.
And so, they're keeping each other in balance. And I love
Yeah, they
that,
are.
because they're keeping that family front of mind, even though their careers are very important to them.
Yeah.
they're keeping balance. And I love being able to show examples of that in my stories because it's something I really struggled with when I was
Okay.
a career girl. I mean, I spent a lot of years working a lot of hours and missed a lot of birthday parties and anniversaries and weddings
Mhm.
because you think you have to be at the office. And you know what? All those ladies that were mamas and had to, leave to get their kids, they were getting the same awards and accolades as I was, but I wasn't giving up anything.
Mhm.
I was giving up everything. I'm doing it for.
Right, right.
I think, sometimes if you can have that example in your mind of somewhere that someone is really balancing the two, I feel
Mhm.
like that we can all kind of take a lesson from that because
Yeah.
you can get it back. You just,
Yeah.
so I missed out on a lot of things I will never get back.
And thank you for sharing that. And even like you said, kind of creating those little teachable moments that you have in the book throughout with these characters or what have you, too. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're hanging out with Nancy Naigle. Let me tell you, it is a good one. It is definitely a summer read that you want to read. It is The Law of Attraction. It is available now. We'll be sharing with you in just a little bit how you can get your hands on a copy. And I know you guys are ready. So Nancy is going to share just a little snippet with us on today. I'm gonna let her set it up. Uh-oh, she got
I
on the reader
know. I
glasses.
got the
So
old
she
lady
is ready,
glasses.
girl. The school teacher glasses have come out. Let's get
So,
started.
you know what? I turned 62 this summer. I got my
Uh-huh.
first pair of glasses, and I need them now. So I'm gonna hope I can read this. So we're gonna see. So
Okay.
this is when Whitney is working late. This is after the meet cute. They still don't know each other's names or anything like that. And Mama is sweeping this man through the office after
Yes.
hours. And so yeah. Um, Allow me to introduce you. Mom pivoted elegantly and waved the man into Whitney's office. He stepped into the doorway, looking a little uncomfortable, wearing blue jeans, boots, and a rather nice suit jacket. His longish hair screamed free spirited surfer more than artist to her. Well groomed stubble added to his eclectic look, and for a hot second, she was almost a little jealous that Mom was spending time with him instead of her. He smiled apologetically. Sorry to interrupt your work. No worries, she said, unable to pull her gaze from his. Your father and I were at the gallery, Mom shared, and I fell in love with his work. Wasn't it my good fortune that Travis informed us they were having a special showing of his work last week? We went back and Travis introduced us. Whitney, his work is amazing. You're going to love it. Whitney somehow doubted that because her tastes were so different from her mother's. But she pasted a grin on her face and nodded. How nice, she smiled in his direction. What kind of art? Do you paint, sculpt? With Mom, it was anyone's guess. But Whitney found herself becoming a fan the longer she connected with Matthew McMahon's green eyes. He could do macrame planters, and she'd allow one to be hanging in her office tonight. Is he wearing contacts? Has to be. So that's just a little snippet and before she even realizes that they've met before.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Nancy, thank you so much for sharing that with us, guys. And there you have it. Just a little snippet of the law of attractions. And as I stated, we will be sharing with you in just a little bit how you can get your hands on a copy of the law of attractions. And of course, guys, Nancy, we're getting ready to play a round of this or that, but
Oh,
it's no right or wrong answer. It is all things according to you, Nancy Nagle. And we're going to do a little bit of summer edition with this too, Nancy Nagle. Okay, so
okay.
are
Y'all
you
play
ready?
along at home. Let's see how many we have alike.
All right. Okay, so Nancy, if first up, they're going on a date, okay? Are they going to the art museum or to an art gallery? Art museum or art gallery?
Gallery.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Nancy, is it popsicle or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Flip-flops or sandals?
Oh, sandals.
Okay, are we hanging out at the beach or are we going to the mountains, my friend?
Oh my gosh, both. Okay, we're going to the beach.
Okay, okay, I love it. I love it. Okay, now Nancy, it's summertime. So
Yes,
are you sweet tea, my friend, or are you lemonade?
I am sweet tea to the
I
tea.
I love it. I love it. And Nancy, are we going on a plane ride or are we going on a I just forgot, what is it? Plane ride or road trip?
Oh, let's go on a plane ride.
Yay! I love that. I love that. And
We'll just
last
get
up, of course,
close.
Nancy, this one is for the Literary Cafe. Please remind the people, are you team tea or are you team coffee?
Team T.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Nancy, for playing a round of this or that with us on today, my friend. Oh my goodness, guys, there is a giveaway. We're going to allow Nancy to share with us what the giveaway is going to be on today.
Yes. So I am going to give away an autographed copy of The Law of Attraction. And
Yay!
I don't have them right next to me. I meant to bring them next to me, but I have the muralist that I interviewed has some merch, and one
Oh,
of them are socks that have these brightly colored fish and stuff. That's actually
oh,
one of
so
the murals that
exciting.
he's done. Yeah. So I'm going to send along a pair of those fun socks with the book.
Oh
So
my goodness. I love that. So, guys, did you hear that? Nancy Nagel is giving away an autograph copy from The Law of Attractions, and you're going to get some bookish swag to go with it as well. I love that. Well, Nancy, I'm going to get you to help me, my friend. I'm going to go up and down the comment section, and you are going to tell me when to stop. All right, let's see. Let's get started. Okay, here we go.
stop.
Okay. Walletta done. You are the winner, my friend. You get a copy of an autographed copy of The Law of Attractions and that nice bookish swag. If you will inbox me your information, I'll be sure to get that over to Nancy Nagel. Nancy, oh my goodness, my friend, the time goes by so fast, but
I
we got a
know.
couple more questions before we end. Can you share with us what did you enjoy about bringing The Law of Attractions to life?
Oh gosh, I loved being able to share a little bit about Virginia. Here's a fun little side story. I was at church a couple weekends ago, and our music minister and his wife were having an anniversary, and they chose to go to Bookbinders because that's where one of the places that they go in the book, and so that's where they went for their anniversary dinner, and they loved it.
Super
Um,
cool.
yeah, so being able to just share a little bit about Virginia and while telling this super fun story was really fun for me.
Wow, I love that. I love that. And Nancy, you got to tell us, okay? Because it's some amazing characters in this book. When you think about all the characters that make up the law of attraction, is there a character, and of course, it can be more than one, that was the most interesting slash fun for Nancy to write? But then on the flip side, was there a character that was a little more complex? Share that with us.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so Matthew would be my favorite. Absolutely. Loved him. And I think the one that was a little difficult, and it's not that it was difficult, but I'll explain it. So Olivia is their assistant, the legal assistant.
Yes.
And what was difficult about that was that I was so drawn to her that I kept wanting to give her a bigger story.
Oh,
And,
wow.
yeah, and she goes to yoga with them, and
Yeah, she does, right?
she's an integral part of keeping all those daggone people who were like trying to practice
Yes.
in the law firm foyer under control. A bright young lady, I really liked her, and so she kept growing, and I had to kept pulling her stuff back out
Oh,
because
wow. Wow.
there's just not enough room for all that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe she'll end up in another story someday. I
Ooh,
really enjoyed her, but it was also just hard for me to keep pulling back because I just was intrigued by her.
wow. And Nancy, thank you for spilling the tea about her because y'all, let me just tell you, she is the assistant of assistants or law, law paralegal, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, she had Whitney's back, and there are some pull at your heartstring moments in there. Nancy, oh, I can see. Olivia, yes. Oh my goodness, I can definitely see how you had to kind of like pull her character back because yeah, she definitely make a statement in this, and you. Oh my goodness, yeah. So I'm glad you shared that. Wow. See, guys, Nancy gave us a little bit of tea as well. So, oh my goodness, guys, we got to share with you how can you get your hands on a copy of The Law of Attractions. Nancy, please share with us how can they get a copy of it and what formats that's available in as well.
Yes, I can do that. So, you can get it in paperback, and you can get it in audio, and you can get it digitally. And it is a Kindle Unlimited title. So if you've got Kindle Unlimited, grab it today. If you don't, just get it and read it on your computer or your Kindle or whatever digital e-reader you have. It's so easy. And yeah, super easy to find and get. And I hope you will read it because it is a fun twist, and I feel like it's kind of a quick read. You'll
It is, Nancy. It is.
through it. Yeah, I mean, and it's not one of those super skinny ones, but it definitely feels like a quick read. You just kind of go from one place to the other, and I can't wait for y'all to read Matthew's very creative way to kind of pick their locations on their date.
I love it. Okay, y'all. Nancy is spilling some tea. Y'all, okay, see, I wasn't going to talk about all of those dates that they go on, but let me just tell you, it's a journey. It's amazing, like Nancy said, how he picked where they're going and all this good stuff. You will just fall in love with it. And let me just tell you, okay, get ready to swoon, and you will swoon several times because this is a swoon worthy read. Okay, I love that. So, Nancy, you just dropping the tea for the people. I love that. I love that.
I love you and I love your people, and you pull the tea out of me, girl. You always do. I
And
don't mind
Nancy,
doing
of course,
it.
my friend, please share with us, how can we stay connected with you?
Oh, please stay connected with me through my website first and foremost, nancynaigle.com. My events are always there, and there are a ton of them throughout the end of the year. So, we may be able to cross paths and meet in person. That would be so much fun. There's lots of freebies there. I also add coloring pages. My mama is a fanatic for that adult coloring, and so I love being able to feed that habit. And then, of course, I'm on all the social media networks and as Nancy Naigle, so nothing fancy to remember. And but first and foremost, the website will always get you where you need to go, and you can join my free newsletter there too.
I love that, guys. You heard it here at the cafe, and definitely stay connected with Nancy Nagel. You can follow her on social media, but definitely go to her website and be sure, guys, to sign up for her amazing newsletter as well. Nancy, it has been amazing, my friend, hanging out with you on today. Guys, we definitely want you guys to get a copy of The Law of Attraction. Nancy has shared with you. It's available in ebook, it's available in print. And again, once you read it, guys, definitely leave Nancy a review. I know she will be so appreciative of you reviewing it as well. And of course, if you have a copy, take a picture, tag Nancy. She loves that as well, to see her book and how you guys are enjoying it. And Nancy, my friend, of course, before we leave, I want to allow you to have the last words of what you want to say to the people.
Oh, my last words would be that I have a new Christmas book coming out this year too.
Ooh.
October 8th, Christmas in Chestnut Ridge. And
Oh,
it's
exciting.
warm and fuzzy and so beautiful. It's set in the mountains. So yeah, join me for Christmas after you read The Law of Attraction.
I love that. And Nancy, we definitely have to find out from you, my friend. Is it available for pre-order?
Oh, yes, ma'am. It sure is.
Well, Nancy, don't forget, if you get a chance, come back, put it in the comment section so they can pre-order. I'll definitely put the information in the comment section of how they can get The Law of Attraction as well. Guys, you've heard it here. Nancy has a Christmas book that's coming out in October, so really soon, and you will be able to pre-order it. So I'm so appreciative of that. Oh my goodness, guys, let me just tell you, we have had a great time hanging out with Nancy Nagel on today. And of course, stay connected with us. You can follow me on social media. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Angela Anderson YouTube. And as we always say, have an amazing day because we're having an amazing day and we want you to have one too. Thank you guys so much. And read The Law of Attractions. See you later.
Yeah, thank you.